one of the things about this is it's told as a story back to us. And I think sometimes when we hear a story and we weren't there, it wasn't a part of our lives, we assign certain characteristics to the people in the story.
Yeah.
When you look at it in hindsight as a story, you know that Christ was going to go through these things for us, and then you look back at the actions of those who were supposed to be supporting him, and you think, how could you run, how could you lie, how could you do these things when asked about the person that you just spent all this time with? But as a human in my own life, I mean, I'll act differently than I believe that I will come the day of
Mm.
something, right? Fight, flight, or freeze will kick in, and I'll find myself not doing the thing that I've pretty much said I would do come
Yeah.
that emergency situation, or come that trial, or come that questioning, or whatever it is. So I think if you look at it from a story standpoint, you kind of look at him and you're like, come on, guys, you couldn't stay awake for Jesus. But if you look at it from you're in it and you're breathing it with them moment by moment, of course we'd fall asleep, right? We don't
Hmm.
get the whole thing. We don't have the whole picture. They gleaned so little of what he was saying. He gave metaphor after metaphor the whole time about what he was about to do and how important it was, and how he was going to be gone, and how, right, and he's laying out the whole thing for him, and they're kind of like, okay, I think,
Yeah.
I guess, okay, right, and they weren't able to see the whole path of the whole picture. So his desire to have them be with him
Hmm.
is so human, and yet the the way that they behaved is so human.
Hmm.
It all makes, I mean, if you're in it, if you just put yourself right in it, it all makes so much sense how everybody behaved in the situation.
Hmm. And I think that's where there's two things: despair and hope. The
Yeah.
despair is, wow, that is true. Man, we're in a lot of trouble because that's us. But then there's the hope, which is Jesus knew that, and yet
Mhm.
he did something that transcended that failure, that transcended that human nature.
Yeah.
we we look at the scripture. I'm not exactly sure what the passage is, but all scripture is good. It's there to rebuke and reprove and reprove us. It's like in divine inspired living word text, the the creativity of God to once again, like, he could have, that scripture could have just said, oh, and these three studs like diligently kept watch all night, but like the people that are sharing these eyewitness accounts are documenting this very embarrassing behavior, and there's got to be a purpose or a reason behind it. And I mean, we're talking about 2,000 years later.
Yeah.
Well, and we had embarrassing, like, there were examples of such embarrassing things all the way through Jesus's journey, right? I mean, like, asking people to walk on water, and what happened there, and people doubting, and people questioning, and people doing all these different things, and they were the ones that he picked and brought closest to him and said, "Walk with me. I'm going to spend 24 hours a day with you." And so, what a different situation we'd be in if he'd said, "Okay, I'm going to pick the 12 humans that can do all these things." Right? These are the superhumans. These are the ones that are built correctly, and they're right, and they're going to be able to do it. They can run a marathon, and they can, right? But he didn't. He picked people along the way, and he said, "Okay, you're going to be closest to me." And they did all the human things, one right after the other, the whole time. So, I feel like the story, without all of the supporting characters in the story showing us again and again that they were human, and that they were going to make human mistakes, and that they were not going to understand, and that everything that was happening while he was on his journey is mirrored in our attempt to understand today,
Hmm.
right? Are looking through, are pouring through the word, our time with others, attempting to overcome obstacles when giving our ministry to someone else, right? Our um I think we need examples constantly to show us that these people were human. He was doing this for very, very human humans, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't doing this for the people that are the good Christians. He wasn't doing this for the people that were built better than the rest of us.